Welcome back to Mass Appeal. Paying for college, it can be stressful, but knowing how financial aid is awarded can reduce parents' anxiety and also make college a little bit more affordable.
Joining us to dispel some myths about financial aid is Paul Hemphill, college planning expert and author of How to Win the College Game. Welcome back, Paul.
Nice to be back.
Some myths about financial aid. I'm sure a lot of parents' ears are perking up right now.
The first one, I think a lot of students say this, a lot of parents think it may be about their kids, and they shouldn't, but it's that the kids think they're not talented enough to win a scholarship, but that's not accurate.
It's not accurate because a couple of years ago, the University of Rochester let the cat out of the bag about how they award scholarships, and the college community across the country was livid with what they did. They pulled back the curtain as to how they award scholarships. For example, if you had an A on your transcript, they awarded $62 for each A that you had since freshman year. You filled out a form correctly, they awarded you $400. If you showed up for an interview, that was worth $250.
Wow.
And if you showed any enthusiasm about wanting to attend that school, they awarded you $3,000. But you wouldn't find that on the college's website because they don't want to reveal how they actually give away scholarships.
So it's just like a database that they plug information in and award.
Correctly. Yeah.
Wow. And now the word scholarship it's all about the way that you look at it, right?
Parents should really take to this. A college does not give you money. A scholarship is not money. A scholarship is a discount on the bill, right? You got to get that. So when you hear the word award, scholarship, or grant, they're not throwing money at you. They're giving you a discount off the bill.
Yeah, they're throwing you a less expensive ticket.
Exactly.
I've never thought of it that way, but you're so right, Paul. When you think of it, yeah, it's true. It's a discount.
Right.
Absolutely.
The next tip, a lot of people out there think, I can't afford an expensive college. That's not necessarily true either.
It's not, because you have these colleges that award, let's say, a $20,000 scholarship, but it costs $60,000 a year to go to that school. Well, if you think you qualify to go to a school where your father and mother can afford $40,000, then you should apply. Because it is very possible to attend a private college that awards you a ton of scholarship money, and it could be cheaper than going to, let's say, UMass for $21,000. Doesn't happen a lot, but it can happen. It's worth investigating.
But some students think that their parents' income, like they make too much money, so they can't get financial aid. Is that a myth?
Believe it or not, Bill Gates qualifies for financial aid.
See, I don't get that.
Wow.
How to explain that one to us?
Okay. The government issues what they call a Stafford loan, which is available to every student. It doesn't matter what your income level is. So when Bill Gates has his kids apply to college, he'll probably have them apply for the Stafford loan, which awards the student, I'm sorry to use the word award, which discounts to the student a $5,500 a loan. And the only difference between you and Bill Gates, Seth, is that he's going to pay back the loan faster than you will.
Accurate. That will happen.
So anyone, no matter who you are, no matter how much your parents may make, is eligible for scholarship money,
so you fill
for
out
financial aid.
That's right. You fill out what they call the FAFSA form, which is which stands for Free Application for Student Aid, and it's available to anybody who applies to college, and everyone should fill one out. And when the colleges are asking you, are you going to be applying for financial aid, you want to say yes. But then again, if you want to advantage yourself in getting into that school and you're really wealthy, you tell the school that you're not applying for financial aid because the school wants the money. They don't want to give you any scholarships.
They want the money.
It's all about the money.
We've got just a little bit of time left, not much, but one more myth for now, that thousands of scholarships go unclaimed every year because they're too hard to find. Is that true?
Not true, because you can go on the internet, which is a gold mine. You can go to fastweb.com, you can go to scholarships.com, collegeboard.com. In fact, there's a lady in Michigan, her name is Monica Matthews. You want to go on Amazon.com and look up the 33-page document that she wrote. She researched for her son, get over $100,000 worth of scholarships for her son. It'll cost you $10 to get that 33-page report. I would contact Amazon immediately.
So the money's out there.
It's out there.
You just have to work hard enough to find it.
Right.
Love
and
it.
it's not that hard. It's not that hard.
All right. We'll get on. Well, yeah, and you know, later we're going to do, because we're not done with you yet.
Okay.
We have even more tips for myths that we're going to bust a little bit later in the show.
Thank you, Paul. Thanks so much. And
we're back with Paul. He's our college planning expert. We're talking about financial aid in college, the best way to get it, because a lot of people can, and they don't think they can get it.
Lots of myths surrounding financial aid. The first myth that we're going to pick up with is that a lot of students think that their grades are not good enough to get a scholarship, or as we talked about earlier, a discount.
A discount.
Right. It's not always about grades, by the way, because you can get a scholarship for things that you wouldn't expect. Like, for example, you belong to a certain ethnic group, or you belong or live on a certain zip code. Oh, what does that mean? Well, colleges are looking for students who come from zip codes where there are wealthy people. So if you're from Chicopee and you're competing with a student to get in who's from Dover, Massachusetts, which happens to be the wealthiest community in the state, the student from Dover is going to be accepted.
Is that because they're inferring that they'll need less aid or that they'll have
Correct.
wealthy friends? Okay.
Exactly. But the other thing is that you can have a very unusual extracurricular activity. For example, you might collect butterflies. Well, what college gets a student who has an extracurricular activity of collecting butterflies? Or something I recommend my students do is to write a blog. Because a blog indicates initiative, that you have control over your destiny, over your thought processes, and colleges really like that, and they will award you a scholarship based on that talent alone, and you won't find it on the college's website.
Wow, so it seems like there's a lot of things that sometimes you can't even control, like where
Correct.
you grew up, that
Exactly.
can actually help you
Yeah.
out.
Or in talking about zip code, you could come from a zip code that they haven't seen a student from in 20 years. Wow,
And
let's
that-
get him.
That's not
And
a bad
what are we
idea.
going to do to get him here? They're going to give you a merit scholarship.
So I guess to go a merit discount.
A merit
I
on your
discount.
tuition.
Thank you.
So I guess we should all probably move to Alaska so that we can get into a better college.
Exactly.
Something like
I
that.
always say to my students, if you want to get more financial aid, apply to colleges that are at least 1,000 miles away, and they'll be very generous in terms of getting you to go to their school.
Now, a lot of students can get discouraged because they think it's just athletes or certain minority groups that do get scholarships. Is
Well,
that
they
true?
get scholarships, but the FAFSA form, which everybody fills out for financial aid, does not ask for your athletic ability or your ethnicity. So fill it out.
Why not? You have nothing to lose. That's the important
Exactly.
part.
Yep.
Now, the other thing is, some people, there's this concept of a full ride. Some people say, I'm probably going to get a full ride, but full rides aren't as likely as you might think.
Correct. The problem with the students who are very talented, top of their class, is that they're told by everybody, you're going to be able to get into any school that you want to go to, you'll get a full ride, and these kids are all buying into this. They don't know any difference. And the problem is they're competing with the best at the top, which means they're less likely to get in, let alone get any scholarships. So I always advise very talented students to apply to colleges that are not on too many people's radar screens, and you're more apt to get a full ride that way.
It's kind of the old adage, you want to be a big fish in a small pond.
Absolutely.
Because this way, you're great, you probably end up at the top of your class, and you'll probably get there for free.
Absolutely.
Now, this also doesn't
Very
mean that students can slack off because, oh, I'm from Dover, Massachusetts, and I'm going to get into college. I don't have to do good on my grades. I mean, you still do have to try and get great grades in order to be a success and go to college. Now, some students may think the paperwork is just too complicated. Truth to that.
There are businesses out there that thrive on making you think that it's complicated. When you fill out the FAFSA form, which is the most common form that you're going to fill out, you can hire a company for $100 to fill it out for you because they'll convince you how complicated it is. It's not complicated, and if you think it's complicated, you can call the 800 number, FAFSA people, and they'll stay on the phone for an hour if you want to and help you fill out the form with you.
Well, that's very nice of them.
Absolutely.
And that's an organization that wants to get you help, that wants to see you achieve great things, because then everyone gets better, then America progresses.
Correct.
Well, we've covered 8 myths. They're really great things for parents and students to make sure that they know the truth about. And of course, Paul, you know, the moral of the story is apply to college because
Exactly.
you never know what you're going to get.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much. If you want a complete list of the tips, because we had some earlier, visit us online, mymassappeal.com, a little bit later today.